When a box this big presents itself, I know what to do. Hey there, today I have a CGC unboxing, and in this video I'm going to open up a CGC submission that was a 9.8 prescreen, and I had not submitted this many books to CGC for a 9.8 prescreen in over a year. Back before they allowed you to send any number of books in for a prescreen, the minimum was 25 comic books. And I ended up doing that, I think, twice, and that was a lot. That's a lot of comics. It's a lot of risk and trust, sending my comics through the mail, and then getting a significant shipment back from CGC and opening up 25 slabs at a time. It's a lot. This was a 16-book submission, and I sent this into CGC in February of this year, 2024, and the last major pre-screen submission was February 2023, where I sent in 25 books. I had been sending in somewhere between 8 and 12, and what had happened is I kind of got behind with my submissions, and I'm trying to catch up, and instead of sending in 2 8-book 9.8 pre-screens, I just decided to go ahead and send in 16. I'll probably start doing that a little bit more in terms of my queues. I'm using 2 different third-party pressers, and then I've decided just to leverage the 9.8 prescreen. I think, made up my mind that if I don't have a book that really falls under the category of sending the comic to one of the 2 third-party pressers that I use, or through a 9.8 prescreen, I'm just going to leave the book raw. I do have kind of a rare scenario where it's not worth the additional investment to try and get the book cleaned and pressed. It has value as is. I don't think it's a 9.8. And in that case, it might be worthy of sending in, but I've just decided I don't really want to do that. I think that I would always have some sort of regret about getting the book pressed. So I've just decided to leave it and find either a candidate that is worthy of a pre-screen or sending in for additional improvement via pressing. Now, speaking of pressing, these 16 books, when I keep pointing to the box, it is large. Even my FedEx delivery person said that it was heavy. The FedEx box. And I didn't get these books pressed beforehand. So what I'm trying to do is, it's not so much around saving money, it's just about process. So if there's a book that I think can be improved, I'm sending that book to a presser, and that comic is getting pressed and graded as is, no matter what. And then books that I feel are 9.8 candidates on their own, those are the ones getting sent in for a 9.8 prescreen. Now, as always, I don't look at the grades, so it's a complete surprise. I'll try to remember not to cover the slab because it's pointless. I will reach in and finger the box a little bit to try and get the rejects out if there are any, so that I kind of know what I'm dealing with. But with the box being this big, I'm hoping that maybe all 16 got the 9.8. If not, then certainly a significant number did. And I'm really excited. Some really cool modern books, some retailer incentives, just some fun stuff in here. So let's get this unpacked and take a look at which books hit the 9.8 on my latest CGC 9.8 pre-screen submission. Okay, man, I had to use 2 hands for that thing. All right, tossing the top lid aside and just trying to feel my way around. I think this is just packing material and not the... I'm pulling the whole thing apart. Yeah, this is just the packing material. Oh, man. Okay, this is exciting. I'm trying not to count or look here. This could be... I don't want to jinx myself. It could be a perfect submission. Let's take a look and find out. And just going back to front in no particular order. And I just remembered I'm not going to cover it. So here we go. The first book. Gambit, number 5. Sweet. Russell Dodderman character iteration variant. I love these. I collect these. Really excited to add this one, this Gambit number 5, with, appropriately enough, Gambit on the cover. Super cool. 9.8 white pages. Fantastic. This is going to be added to my wall of Russell Dodderman covers. It'd be really cool to just kind of see them all together like that. So awesome. Got that one in a 9.8. Next one is Something is Killing the Children, number 26. This is just the standard cover A. I am not necessarily ready yet to try to get every single cover A in a 9.8, but I am on my way. I just recently acquired a book that I was missing in the run, and once I did that, I just realized maybe I should already start to get into the double-digit issues. This one is a little bit tougher than some of the other books because of the darker colors in both the front and the back. But this is great. This is just cover A. And also, I used my spreadsheet to tell me what to do. I'm trying not to overthink it. And this book had some value. It was a book that I pre-ordered, so I was able to get it at a discount under cover price. And then factoring in the cost for grading, using my CGC membership discount, and so forth. When I compared all of that to fair market value, the spreadsheet said send it in for a pre-screen, and that's what I did. And now I can add issue 26 to my run of that awesome series. Very cool. Next is Amazing Spider-Man 14. Oh, very cool. This is the first appearance of Hallows' Eve, or, well, CGC says on the label Amazing Spider-Man 908, Janine, God becomes Hallows' Eve, so it doesn't say first appearance, but it's the first appearance. Very cool. This has cover art by Ed McGuinness, which is awesome. I love this. And I think this would look really nice next to the Seduction of the Innocent 3D. Very, very cool there. All right, keeping it moving, we have Amazing Spider-Man 14. This is the design cover by Ed McGuinness, but same as the previous book, the first appearance of Hallows' Eve. Very cool. And these were books that I hadn't just ordered. These came out in late 2022, early 2023, but they were in kind of a pile or an area of my collection where they were recent enough in terms of my cataloging, where I was able to review that catalog or that section of the books in terms of my spreadsheet analysis. And these were books that were basically ready to be put into short boxes, but reviewed the analysis and decided to send some of these in with the pre-screen. So that's why some of these are roughly a year old, but I had just sent them in for a pre-screen. And had I not put together those formulas in my spreadsheet, then they would have just gone into my back issue bins. But my analysis told me it's better if I were to get these books graded, even though a lot of times brand new releases or moderns aren't necessarily the best things to get graded. These specifically, for one reason or another, first appearance of Hallows' Eve, Russell Dodderman, cover art variant, Something is Killing the Children, tough book to get in high grade. Those sorts of things are all factored in when my auto decisioning kind of kicks in and spits out that decision. Next one is a foil. It is Something is Killing the Children 31. This is from July 2023. Great Jenny Frison cover art here. Awesome. Get the 9.8. You never know, some of these foils you can get a 9.9, but I'll take the 9.8 on that one. That looks great. Okay, next one we have Mary Jane and Black Cat number 4. Awesome. Another missing piece to the Dodderman character iteration variant collection. Super cool. Love this one. This one I had sent in before, not this specific issue. I'd sent a different issue in and it got rejected. So I'm happy to have this one. The only thing I'll say about this specific variant is that they also have an incentive without the trade. I'm not necessarily chasing those down just because the majority of them do have the trade, and to have some sort of consistency from book to book, I wanted to go ahead and have this one. And I think I'm down to just tracking down that variant with Rogue on the cover. That's the one, of course, the most coveted one is the one that I'm missing, but great to add any of those variants. And so I'm getting closer to having one of each. All right, the next one is another Something is Killing the Children. This is Something that is Killing the Children number 9. Very cool. This is the second print. This was a book that I won at auction from Infinity Comics. They had, I don't want to say like slipped in some moderns, but they mostly deal with like a little bit of silver, mostly bronze, copper, early modern, but for the most part, I would say late bronze, early copper is kind of their sweet spot, or what you see most regularly in their auctions. And then occasionally you would see some of these books come in. And I remember one auction in particular, they had a run of Something is Killing the Children, including variants, late printings, and I got outbid on several of those. I think, again, I think there's people that are wise to some of the auctions on Hip Comic now. Hopefully that's not my fault, because I still do enjoy bidding on those auctions, but was able to get these at a great price. These are dropping in value like crazy. All of the Something is Killing the Children books. A lot of times these independent stories get optioned and they heat up, and then there's option news and like the show's coming, hang in there everybody, and then there's just a period of nothing. There's no news. It's still a great story. The story hasn't changed. I've read the first several volumes many times. It's kind of a go-to, kind of a guilty pleasure read, if you will. I really love it. And so it's a great time for me to kind of go back and get some of the variants where I was just talking about how I have a nice run of the books. I think I have at least every issue raw, and then I'm working towards every cover A in a 9.8. And then also looking at some of the earlier variants, just basically trying to go back and find anything that's a single digit. So this one being the last one at number 9, getting this at a second print, 9.8, where I had screened it as soon as I got it back from Infinity Comics. Looked great, didn't press it, off it went, and it got the 9.8, so very cool. All right, I think we're about halfway there. This is Axe Judgment Day number 6. Man, okay. I had to remember what was the cover on this one. Now I remember. Wow, this is just a absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous art germ cover. This is designated as the Lao Virgin variant cover. This is one of those where it's a retailer incentive, yes, but I actually bought this off of Art Germ Collectibles, the website. They list it as a pure art variant. There's a lot of different ways to kind of talk about a book that does not have the trade dress. CGC is going with the virgin in quotes designation. I typically just call it full art. Art Germ Collectibles calls it pure art. Nevertheless, I will do that from time to time, where if I am looking for a book and it's from a very popular artist, they often have a website, and sometimes they're allowed to sell some of these books themselves. Maybe they get an allotment. I don't really quite know how it works, but I picked up a copy from Art Germ Collectibles and thought it was fantastic, outstanding, great condition. Sent it to CGC as is in the 9.8 pre-screen, and it hit. Love it. I've mentioned this before. There's a lot of hype around Dazzler, and whether or not she's going to show up in Deadpool 3 by that lady singer that everybody thinks that she's very popular with the football guy. Can't think of her name, but she could appear, and if she does, everyone's looking at X-Men 130, her first appearance, maybe her first solo series. I'm a big believer in that. Really, any cool cover that features Dazzler is going to be popular. And you know what? If she doesn't show up, it doesn't matter. It's still awesome. I'm a big fan of Art Germ and trying to collect his 1 in 50s, 1 in 100s as high ratio, full art or pure art variants. So thank you, CGC, but thank you, Art Germ, for also having this available in your store. Appreciate that. Very cool. Love that book. All right, the next one is another Gambit number 5. All right, so I have 2 of these now. Sent a couple copies in to make sure that at least one hit. So awesome. Got an extra copy of that. Next is Batman Spawn number 1. Wow, I forgot about this. Man, this is cover art by Jim Lee. This is pretty cool. This is incredible. Looking at just that raw black and white cover. But look how tough this book is. It's an all black cover on the back. It's also, it's going to be tough, but it's also semi-square bound. So the square bound books, even if they're not that many pages, it's really tough on the corners. In fact, yeah, even this one has a little bit of a corner issue there up at the top right there, but it did pass. It's why I sent it in the pre-screen. It was borderline. It looked really good. And I'm also smiling about this because this was one of my Black Friday pickups from Gmart. where I got this for a steep discount. And I thought, wouldn't that be cool if I could go end to end, Black Friday sale, huge discount, popular book, yes, but high ratio, getting it on the cheap, and then go ahead and complete the full cycle and get it in a 9.8, which I did. So very, very happy, very cool. Batman Spawn from February 2023. This is the 1 in 100 Jim Lee sketch variant. On to the next, we have Batman 3 Jokers number 3. This is the variant cover B. This is the very cool Jeff Johns, Jason Fabok, 3 Jokers storyline. It was 3 issues, 3 oversized issues. I enjoyed the story. It was a fun read. This too was a Black Friday incentive, steep discount pickup. And very similar to the Batman Spawn. It is a little bit oversized. It is square bound. And very cool, was able to get this one in a 9.8 as well. All right, so far so good. And yep, it is looking good for it to be a perfect submission. That's pretty nuts. Why did I hold that? This is Superman number 6. This is another one. It's tough for me because I don't know if I would have sent this in as is. I love the cover. I love the throwback to the post-death of Superman issue 75, where we have the reign of the Supermen. Great cover by Alex Saviuk. Retailer incentive. Had a lot going for it. Picked it up very, very cheaply. And so that was part of why my spreadsheet said you should go ahead and send it in, because I didn't pay that much for this 1 in 25. It was not a very popular retailer incentive when it came out, as most of them, you're looking for them to hover around $25 for a 1 in 25. When the price starts to go up or maybe double or triple, then you know you're onto something. But when you see a book like this, maybe for sale for $7.99, probably not all that interesting. But there were a couple that sold in a 9.8 at a decent enough value that it made sense to go ahead and send it in. And that's what I did, as that one looked to be in great shape. And I gave it a 9.8, and so did CGC. All right, a few more to go here. Next one up is Poison Ivy number 2. Okay, this is cool. Story to kind of go along with an unboxing from not too long ago. If you remember, I unboxed a bunch of retailer incentives that I picked up from one particular store, and I didn't name the store. And you can go back and watch that video if you want the long story. The short version of the story is I ordered roughly about a dozen books. They were all like 1 in 50s, 1 in 100s, and they were all damaged in one way or another. Not damaged in transit. It looks like they sent me their dinged and damaged copies. And what I ended up doing is contacting them and working through the issue. I sent pictures. I described what happened. They ended up saying they would make an exception. Normally, they're just sold as is, but they don't state that on their website. And they said, whatever books you want to send back, when we receive them, we'll take inventory and we will refund you 100% of those books. And they even sent me a shipping label, and I'm very, very grateful that they did that. And I never really mentioned the store because I didn't want to give them any negative press or really positive press, to be honest. It was just a transaction, but it was Discount Comic Book Service, DCBS. And what I appreciated was they let me kind of go through and decide which ones I wanted to keep and which ones I didn't. And as somebody who buys exclusively online, that's about as good as it gets. I mean, if you're thinking of you're standing at a table at a convention and you're looking at books and you're making the decision, it was kind of like that same experience, except going through the mail. What I ended up doing is I saved one book because I thought that this one in particular was not damaged. And so I saved this, I paid for this one, and I sent all of the others back. And I got a refund on all of the other books. They charged me for this one, and it got a 9.8. So a happy ending to a frustrating story, and a really cool, she's upside down, turned this way. I know it's foil, it's hard to see, but there it is. Poison Ivy number 2. This is the Jenny Frison full art variant, virgin cover, foil, but just really awesome to add to my Jenny Frison variant collection. Okay, next book up is Something is Killing the Children, number 31. This is another foil. This is cover art by Pablo Villalobos. This is a store exclusive from 616 Comics. They do a lot of exclusives with Lobos, who's a very popular, I would say, Adam Hughes inspired cover artist. And I just love this Erica Slaughter cover. Just sensational. Love it. And ended up getting a 2-pack of this one regular and then one foil. And I think I sent both in, so let's check that out. So that's the foil edition. Got a 9.8. Yep, this is the regular. So it is still a full art cover, but this is the standard 616 Comics edition of Something is Killing the Children 31. Just love this one. Got the trees in the background, kind of a call out to issue number 1. Man, just a stunning cover here. So pretty cool. I got the 2-pack of books from 616 back in the middle of 2023. I held on to those, and then again, as I was putting kind of the data together, it made sense to send both of those in. All right, yes, it ended up not a huge shocker, I guess. I sort of spoiled it when I said there weren't any rejects, but still pretty fun. A 16 for 16 submission, ending with Catwoman 49. This is the Jeff DeCall cover. I think this is just the cover A. And as I collect certain titles, certain issues, books with a lot of value, I also collect artists. And this one, I'll be very happy to add to my collection of Jeff DeCall books. Very cool cover with Catwoman and Punchline. And there it is, a 16 for 16 pre-order submission, a 9.8 pre-screen submission. These books were not pressed. I went through, screened them as is, and this is kind of what I'm doing, as I said, is that if I go through books as I'm opening them, as I'm receiving my orders, whether they're incentives, regular covers, whatever it may be, I love assessing the books right away and grading them, and then making that decision to set them aside for that 9.8 pre-screen. And really happy that I got a perfect submission this time and it all worked out. Let me know what you think of these books that I sent in. I know the controversial topic is whether modern books really should be sent in for grading. But to me, it doesn't matter what the controversy is. I love doing it. I'm going to keep doing it. I love these books. Really appreciate the service and the quick turnaround from CGC. Thanks for watching. Happy collecting, and see you next time.